So today I wanted to do a short video because all the videos that I found online are way too long. So I want to do one that is straight to the point and is to do with splitting the signal using a modeler. Here we have the HX Stomp XL, which is quite a useful bit of kit. And half of the signal is going to go via send to the amplifier, and that's going to be basically pre-cab simulation or amp simulation, let's call it that way. And the other, via the main output, is going to go to a DI box and then to the front of house, where obviously you will be given the in-ear monitoring pack. So the important thing here is to have, if I can go into that, the menu, probably you can see there. Obviously, in the second half of the video, I'm going to post how to do this via the AHX edit. So the important thing is to have a send block. And you can see there's a send and a drive through. The send, I've turned it down a little bit because I find that once you have the volume all the way up there, which is where I usually leave it, the send tends to be a bit too hot. So I take it down a little bit. But basically that's the trick. And after the send, I will have the amp simulation, which here I have a high watt. And before the send, I will have the reverb because I want to have the reverb both in my in-ears and in the amp. So I will have the reverb down pretty much to 0 in my amplifier. So here, so I'm going to show how to do that in the HX edit, but the hardware setup is very simple. So I will have, obviously, the guitar is going to go into my input. Hope you can see that, yeah. So the guitar is going to go into my input. The output is going to go to the DI box, just like you would use it if you didn't have an amp. And then the send, and when you're playing mono, this is going to be the left send in your software. This goes to the input of your amplifier. Here I have something that I use from time to time. It's like a small TV mark head. Just want to show you that basically that lead from the send goes into the amplifier. And so basically the signal splits between, this is what happens before the send. So I have all my effects. So I will have, here I have a compressor, overdrive, delay and chorus, and reverb, which is this pedal there. I can even turn it off if I want a dry sound. So these are all my effects. And then there is a send, and that goes straight to the amp. What is after the send, which goes here in the output, is just the amp with a cab simulation. And I will have that going through the DI box and then to the front of house. And then eventually the front of house will give me a pack to connect my in-ears. I'm going to have this patch. I'm going to upload this to the Line 6 community, so you can download it if you want, so you have an idea. And I'm going to leave a link in a pinned comment of this video. All right, I'm going to go now to the HX edit, and I'm going to show you pretty much how I set up the whole thing. Okay, so this is the DHX edit, and I have my unit connected, and you can see here there's the main input. And then I have a compressor. So I've used up all the blocks. I have the first distortion, which is like a clone, then a rat for more solo style for like boosting the signal. Some modulation. I think this is still relatively quick, so you might want to maybe just slow it down a little bit. And if you use the patch, as I said, we'll upload it on the Line 6 community. And there's a tap tempo to a quarter note. Delay, always quite handy, and then I have my reverb, which is quite like a generic reverb. Then here, this is where the magic happens, as they say. This is a send. So you add a send block, and remember, in my unit, I had to set it as the send left. That's when it worked. If I set it on the send right, it doesn't for some reason. Then I will have, as I said, I tend to take the send down a little bit because I feel that in my case that was hitting the amp a bit too hard. So I will take that send down rather than turning down the volume of the unit, which obviously wouldn't do anything. This is where you need to pretty much, the trick there is to plug straight into the amp with your guitar and just check what the volume and gain structure is of the whole sound, and then trying to match it by just turning everything on the unit off on the unit, and in terms of the effects, and then matching the volume that you heard in the amp, so to speak, and then there is trial and error there to try and match really what the input level is of your guitar, of the guitar straight in, basically. And then I have the amp simulation, and this is the bit, the post, so to speak. This is the bit that goes only to the front of house. It doesn't go to your amp. Basically, the signal gets cut here, and whatever is before that goes to the amp, and whatever is before and after that goes to the front of house, which is the main left and right. Yeah, that's it, really. So again, I hope this really helped. I tried to make it as quick as possible, as short as possible. There's a comment in the pinned, as I said again, in the comment section that I've linked to this preset. And then you feel free to use it and modify it. And then again, if you find this useful, visit my website. Feel free to support it, download my music, subscribe and share. Take care.